One of the main reasons I wanted to talk about this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know your opinion of it yet.
Okay.
But I feel like, especially for all the people who hate Marvel right now.
Right. There's a lot of them now.
I feel like they are going to, they're going to be really pissed at this episode.
Oh.
I think that they've done something that a lot of people who have been kind of irritated with Marvel right now, especially with the more lighthearted Marvel, there's something they doing here that's going to piss them the hell off, man. Hey everyone, Double Toasted live in Las Vegas is coming up very soon, October 8th. Join us for a night of comedy, music, games, and a big after party. This is going to be our first time doing a show in Las Vegas, so it's going to be a very special night for us, and we want to share it with you. And if you've never been to a Double Toasted show, ask anybody. It's tons of fun. It's just like one big party that we're sharing with friends. And like I said, we want you to be there. So go get your tickets now by going to x1entertainment.com. So far, I have been enjoying the Disney Plus Marvel show, She-Hulk.
Wow!
I go back to life as a lawyer. I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
Fuck you talking to? Apparently that gamma radiation made you just crazy too.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, schizo. You know, I look at this and everybody talks about how Marvel got jokes. Marvel trying to be so jokey. Marvel trying to be so funny. Oh, Marvel, you comedian. You know, some of that I can understand and some of that I agree with. This show has allowed me to go in and embrace the jokes and the comedy. It's a lighthearted show.
Yeah, as it should be.
And as it should be. And I've actually, I've been enjoying it for that reason. More than that guy.
I don't like the jokes.
Shit, that dude said phase 4.
I'm good. Wow.
Yeah. They must have told him he lost his case.
I don't understand it all.
Well, yeah, I've been enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it for being the lighthearted, funny show that it is. And we got 4 episodes that we watched early and enjoyed all of those, man. It actually got better for me as it went along.
Nice.
But I never take that for granted.
Oh, okay.
There's a few shows that I've watched. It was, you know, for example, the last one was Ms. Marvel. I watched that. Loved it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Didn't like it so much at the end.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that Marvel, with their TV shows, if they've had a problem with the last episode, either the last episode felt like they were rushing, or it felt like they didn't have anything else, or they needed more episodes. So far, you know, this. How many episodes is this?
This is 5 now at this point.
No, how many total?
Oh, 9. I think it's 9. Yeah.
So we're about almost at that we are at that halfway point, pretty much.
Point. Yeah.
And things turn in these shows either near the end or about that halfway point, and I see the cracks already.
Uh-oh.
Now, I have been having fun with this show. I thought that they've been doing some great things with it, man.
Me too.
I thought they've been doing some great things, not only with the writing, not only with the comedy, bringing characters back, like the Abomination. And what I said before was, it's funny that everybody complains about the comedy, I being one of them with these Marvel shows, but I believe that this comedic format has given a lot of actors a chance to just act and not just have to rely on costumes, fighting, blue screen, green screen, all kind of stuff like that. I think it's been cool for these people to be able to just sit back and just be able to act with each other without having to be interrupted by spectacle.
Sure. Fight scenes.
Yeah. Because one of the main reasons I wanted to talk about this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know your opinion of it yet.
Okay.
But I feel like, especially for all the people who hate Marvel right now.
Right. There's a lot of them now.
I feel like they are going to, they're going to be really pissed at this episode.
Oh.
I think that they've done something that a lot of people who have been kind of irritated with Marvel right now, especially with the more lighthearted Marvel, there's something they're doing here that's going to piss them the hell off, man.
Oh, all right.
And maybe they won't. If they don't complain, cool. But I'm complaining about it a little bit. If I'm complaining, I can only imagine what the naysayers are going to do.
I kind of feel like, listen, I've said this before, that I think comedy is very subjective, and what I find funny, you may not find funny, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But I feel like at this point, like if they even attempt at a joke, it's going to piss everyone off, or that demographic off, no matter what. And so I don't even know what you're referring to, because I'm like, that could be a lot of things, because they're leaning into the comedy a lot of the times. So
I just think that they're doing something that's playing a bigger part in this universe.
Okay.
And I don't think people want to see it done that way. I will tell you.
Maybe I know what you're talking.
You might know what I'm talking about.
Maybe at this point, sure. Okay.
But we'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
All right.
We'll get into it when we get there.
Right.
But before I get to this major thing that I was looking at that kind of made me wish that they hadn't done it that way in particular. With this episode, there were some things. It's a fun episode.
Yeah,
First of all,
yeah.
I laughed several times. Episode 5. But I had some criticisms with this.
Okay.
And it's got me a little worried.
All right.
I heard your ass downstairs laughing.
I was giggling.
Yeah, I heard. No, you weren't giggling. You were laughing.
Jen, you're so funny.
There was one moment. I didn't even know what happened. I almost ran downstairs. I thought you got hurt because it was quiet. I heard. I'm like, is that a laugh or a scream?
That's how I laugh. I surprised myself.
It was good to hear.
Yeah.
So with this, man, with this episode, it continues to do a lot of fun things.
Sure,
With
definitely.
the legal format.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I liked about this. You know, this you were saying it's like Boston Legal or
Alec McBeal.
which they clearly were going for, and as far as I'm concerned, succeeded. But they're doing things with the legal format that I found hilarious with this. With this episode, if you haven't seen it, She-Hulk is being sued for the name She-Hulk, which she had first. She's being sued by an influencer, a super influencer named Titania, which we saw in the last episode.
I've got court documents filed by Titania Worldwide LLC.
She's suing me over the name She-Hulk? But that's my name.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw this scene at first, I thought she was being served by Seth Rogen. But then he came with that voice, "You're being served." Seth Rogen would be like, "Hey, you're being served."
He would have laughed like as he walked away.
High as hell. Hey, you're She-Hulk. But what I love about that, what I love about this legal format, what I love about that scene in particular, which that's not episode 5. That was actually from episode 4.
Yeah, previous episode.
But what I love about that and what carries on to this episode is that, one, she's being sued.
Yes.
That's hilarious to me.
She's a lawyer.
And she's a lawyer that's being sued. And 2, the dude who's serving her could care less that she's She-Hulk.
Right.
Everybody could care less that she's She-Hulk.
Well, that's one of the things I've liked about the Marvel Universe is that we've gotten to a point where it's like, oh yeah, alien invasions and people in iron suits and Spider-Man. It's like, it's part of the course. I like that because now it's very much like the comics. People are like, of course.
It's like the universe they have in the comics.
Yes.
I love that about this show too, man. I love it that she still lives in this kind of shitty apartment. Well, it's nice. But, when you think about superheroes, you think, damn, how come you're not living like in a penthouse or something?
They have a headquarters. They have a compound.
They have a base.
Yes, yeah.
They have a headquarters. They have mansions.
She lives in the suburbs in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's where she lives.
She still lives in a small apartment right here.
Yeah.
I love it that no one cares, man. Superpowers are now normal.
Yeah.
They're so normal. People aren't amazed anymore. I mentioned that when I talked about the series. That's one of the things that I like that they've carried on with this.
Sure.
Because, no one talks about her superpowers, man, and they're out there. They're obvious. Like, no one's coming after to beat her ass all the time. She just goes to a job, does her work, come home, hangs out at the bar.
That's right.
Sometimes it's She-Hulk, sometimes not. Her brother comes in. He pops into her place, not even amazed that his sister is She-Hulk. No. He's trying to make that money.
Capitalize.
Shred!
Oh, what's up, Jen?
What are you doing? You can't just walk into my house.
Oh, just want me to tell you, I kind of just did that. They love you. The people, they love the She-Hulk.
It's like he doesn't care about it. Like me, I would have tons of questions if my brother or sister was a Hulk.
Well, you got to put it in perspective too, because Bruce Banner's part of their family, and so they've been dealing with this for years.
You know what?
So
that is
they're
true.
like, oh yeah, another one of us is the Hulk. Oh, of course, yeah. All right, sure. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Hey, could you sign this for me so I can sell it on the street?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about you being the Hulk.
Yeah,
I want to exploit you for what you can make, for what you can do for me.
Which is probably what the family did beforehand with Bruce. He's like, I'm not gonna contact you.
Shit, those gamma rays must have gotten her brother's mullet because that shit is a super mullet.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah,
I like the characters in here. Like
me
I like,
too. I
like
the
her
family.
brother.
I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm gonna talk about the good things. So her being sued. If you've been keeping up with the show, she has to go to court, and she has to go to court, of course, to save her name, protect her name. She forgot to trademark it.
Yeah, I should know
That's another hilarious thing. A lawyer forgot to trademark her shit. She didn't even want the name at first. which kind of adds a little suspense to this because it's like, wow, I mean, we know you're gonna get the name, but man, you know, you really they have a point. You didn't want the name at first.
Right. Yeah, she didn't embrace it at all.
But I thought it was a great bit that for her, the only recourse she has to save her name is to bring in a few witnesses. Those witnesses being all the shitty dates that she had.
Yeah, that was great.
Which we saw in a montage earlier.
Yeah.
The montage, I thought, you know, when I saw it, I thought that was a little too cute. You know, montages and sometimes I do nitpick on those. But bringing the dates back to testify, I thought it was funny. What's up, girl?
So, she came across a little try-hard, to be honest. I'm just not about that.
By the way, I love that dude. I'm glad they brought him back.
No, I like that brought all of them back. They had a little something to it.
And I like that they show you just how trifling these dates were. Like when your boy right there,
Yeah.
the man with no neck, barely came in wearing damn shirt all open, wearing chains and shit.
Yeah.
Like he was the worst one, man. Like he didn't waste no time trying to hook up with another chick in court. He was trying to hook up with Titania when she left.
Right.
Hey, Titania.
What?
I'm so sorry that happened to you. What you getting into later?
Fine. You can buy me things. Let's go.
What you getting into today?
Okay, all right, I'm good with that.
No, I like that. I did feel bad for her.
Me too.
And it went back to the first episode, and it's something that I hope that they do address since we have 4 more episodes left. I hope that they start to address like more of the conflict that she has with being She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Because the only good date that she had, and the dude, I feel sorry for her.
He seems like a good man, but he's not.
Because he comes in, the only good date that she had to call him back in. And the guy plays it so nice. And you almost think that he's a good guy when you see him again. But he's like, you know, She-Hulk, she's amazing. She's awesome. That other chick ain't shit.
Yeah, I don't like her. No, not my type.
Would you have gone on the date if She-Hulk had instead presented as Jennifer Walters?
No.
She's like, you know we're the same people.
Yeah.
You know I can hear you, you piece of shit. And now, you say that guy's not a good guy.
He presents himself off as a good man, but he's one of those nice guys. That's what he is. That's what I realized.
Well, I don't know. You could be right. And maybe I'm reading too much into this. Because either he could be what you're saying, or could he be somebody who's saying, She-Hulk is not what you think. I don't like her because she got that big green juicy ass. I don't like her because She-Hulk is more confident. You know, when I'm with that other chick, she's just not as self-assured.
I didn't read it that way. So to me, what I've been seeing, what I really like, and I'm glad that the show is showcasing, I wish they continue to go into this, is that, you know, I feel like Jen is very lonely.
Yeah.
And, you know, when she becomes She-Hulk, she notices people notice her, but at the same time, she's uncomfortable becoming that because, yes, that is a part of her now, and she's learning to deal with that, but that's also, she views it at this point as not the real her. She views it as like, no, I'm this person. And one thing I really like about Tatiana Maslany, the way she's playing this, is that she's kind of like she's like a little nerdy girl, and she comes off really adorable. Like one of the things, and she's very earnest. That's what it is. She's very earnest. And where I loved it, how like in the first episode of this series, when she was presenting her kind of like monologue, and she was asking, it was like, so is that really good? And her friends are like, yeah. And she's like, I was like, oh, that's the real her there. And I feel like she's uncomfortable showing that version of herself to other people. Yeah. Because that's who she truly is. When she's She-Hulk, yeah, it's still a part of her, but it's not who she thinks she is.
No, you could tell they're completely different.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I love what they do with the show is that when you see Jen is what you see right here. Yeah. Just a low-key girl that likes...
She's down to earth.
She likes to put her feet up on the table, eat a bowl of cereal, probably fart out loud every now and then. But,
exactly.
Yeah, you know, but She-Hulk is not her real personality because She-Hulk is played up to be glamorous, which she's happy to have it. Sure. But that's not her mentality.
Exactly.
But you know, a lot of people saying, "No, that dude's a piece of shit."
Yeah, that's what I read. You know,
somebody said, "Well, shit, at least he's honest."
Yeah. I mean, he's blunt about it.
He's brutally blunt. I mean, looking right at her.
Not my thing. You're not my thing. Everything but this, not bad. When
you're She-Hulk, call me.
Yeah.
You get that other bitch out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad seeing her that way, where she's like, God, I can't be with someone because they want this version of me and not the me that I think I truly am.
They're about to make her cry in the court.
Yeah,
Look at
no,
that.
it's rough.
You ever do that smile when you get embarrassed and you try to smile to keep back those tears?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know you can beat his ass if you want to.
Yeah.
And also, something I thought would get on my nerves, but is actually working for me, Titania. What's her name? Is it Titania?
Yeah,
Titania?
Yeah, no, it's Titania.
Titania, man. I thought that was Shaq for a moment. Hey, Titania, wanna go on there? You wanna go get a burger? But Titania, man. So Titania, at first I thought, all right, she's obviously exaggerated for comedic effect, but maybe a little bit too much for me. But after a while, a little too broad. But then after a while, I was like, nah, they hit it.
I mean, she definitely got the vapidness down of a lot of social media influencers.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I've gone to so many of these influencer conventions.
Right.
You know, before COVID, I was going to 2 conventions every year, full of influencers.
Right.
And most of them, sadly, were like this.
Yeah.
Now, they weren't, breaking down walls. They weren't busting through walls. And as I said, she's a little more exaggerated.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that they were all shitty people either, but vapidness.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're talking about. I was amazed at how, when I went to these conventions, how people actually sound like characters from a TV show.
Yeah.
And they actually didn't hit. They're not too wrong. They're not too far from portraying what an actual influencer is like at some of these conventions with Titania.
I want you to stop and take all of this down.
What seems to be the issue?
You're using my name to sell your trashy product.
Seen this, man.
Yeah.
People pushing other people for pictures.
Take her picture right now. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit, the whole way, that upspeak of talking,
Yep.
to the point where it's just
Drawn out
annoying.
again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen they've captured all the shallowness of a certain influencer.
Yeah.
Influencers when they're in their environment. Shit, I was at a mansion party last week.
You saw that.
Where there was a chick there like that.
Right.
And see what she wasn't selling shit. So I'm not even lying. She was just like that.
Sure. There we go. Very accurate then.
And those influencer events nailed it here, man.
Yeah.
I've been to so many secret rooms or influencer rooms where it was just like this shit.
Snake venom lip plumper. What do you mean they're completely different? Lip plumper, for example?
Her friend,
Nikki was fun in this episode.
Yeah, no, she was a lot of fun.
She
in
had
this.
a lot more screen time in this.
I gave her a lot to do. She was a lot of fun, man.
I even love in this scene too. It's to your point earlier, where how she's dressed like this. Like you even have people like the way they look at her, even talk about her. It's like, oh, excuse me, little girl, you have to go in the back of the line. Like your parents here. She's like, oh god. And that's also another point because women. I think that's what the series is also kind of critiquing and criticizing too. A lot of female superheroes, they are showcased for their beauty and things. But then a lot of women in real life, that's major emphasis placed on that. And they have to constantly deal with that. So I feel like that's what, having Jen, she represents that. It's like, yeah, she can be the ideal comic book fans, fantasy, but then she still has, like, when she's normal Jen, she still is being thrusted to be a certain type anyway.
Exactly.
So.
And also, I think this scene is great how they dressed her down.
Yeah.
And that was cool because what they want to do was they want to show you just what the big difference was between her and Titania. Titania is nothing but being superficial.
That's it, yeah. She's earnest. She's earnest
The
always.
thing about Jen, she might not be all that self-confident all the time, but she ain't afraid to be who she is.
Yeah.
She ain't afraid to dress down. I really like what they're doing with a lot of this, man. A lot of this, even when it seems broad, they're actually pretty much on point with this.
It's a little deeper than I think a lot of people are giving it credit for.
Well, everybody's ready to jump on it because it's a comedy.
Right.
And the thing is, it's a comedy. I mean, complain about comedy, not to give you something that is a flat-out comedy, and you complain about the comedy in the comedy?
Yeah.
But I also understand if some people say that it's too broad for them. Okay, I get you. But but I like, and the characters are written for a sitcom.
Yes. Oh, yeah, 100%.
So let me just say that for those people who don't like the comedy that's in here, I might like it, but I'm not going to be mad at anybody out there that doesn't, because it is sitcom comedy, man. It's not only just a sitcom comedy, but it's office sitcom comedy.
Yeah.
It's an office comedy too. So that means you you have all the side characters, the funny side characters that you see that are there just. They're almost, and they're
there for the gag.
They're there for the gag, so the characters are not all that deep. They're just meant to crack one-liners.
Yes.
Are every now and then getting pulled into a wacky situation.
Right. Go ahead.
The lawyer bro.
Yeah, that's all I know him as.
And I got that from you.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I said, who's that guy? And you said, I don't know, I'll call him Lawyer Bro.
Lawyer Bro.
And it just stuck with me. Like She-Hulk stuck with her. I like that guy, man.
Because he's a good guy.
The thing is, they might not be that deep, some of these characters, but they are side characters, and the thing that what they do with them is that they do make them likable.
Yeah.
I actually like that guy a lot, man. What's his name? Pug?
I think I'm thinking of Lawyer Bro.
Yeah, somebody, is that his name, Pug? I'm looking at the chat. Is his name Pug?
Wow, I did not know that.
They say he was a villain in Arrow, but because people laughing, it's like, yeah, it's funny that he was a bad guy one time.
No, did something different for him.
Yeah, no, this is to see him do something different. No, I like this guy a lot, man.
Excuse me.
What's happening, Nick?
Okay.
Will you stand in line with me waiting for a sneaker drop?
The Iron Man 3s are coming out and they're limited to 1 pair per customer.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, but if he was my lawyer, the moment I heard him talk, I'd be like, get me somebody else.
Oh, God damn, he's an idiot. He's actually good at his job.
Will you stand in line with me? What is wrong with him?
He's like a baby, like a little kid.
He is, man.
Yeah.
Like the way he's talking, like he's like a little kid talking to somebody else, like a grown up or something.
Yes.
Will you stand in line with me to get some shoes?
Okay.
Will you stand in line with me waiting for a sneaker drop?
The way he enunciates, the way he talks.
Yeah.
You know what his character reminds me of? It's funny enough, a sitcom or an office comedy. He reminds me of Chris Pratt's character Andy from Parks and
Parks and Rec.
Recreation. He's a man-child, but he's a good guy, and so that's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, he's grown on me, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let him be my lawyer, but
No.
he
He did a good job in the last case. He didn't win it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
You know what? Because that other dude was a straight up bro.
He was an asshole. I was like, I'm not that bad.
but it was a running around the courtroom,
so it wasn't elf.
So it wasn't that hard to win that one, man.
Yeah, still.
The elf is up on the impersonating the judge. So no, I still stand on that. I love this guy. I go get a beer with him, but he ain't gonna be my lawyer.
Fair enough.
Hey, bro, I'm your lawyer. No, you're not.
Oh boy.
Let me see. Somebody say they remind him of Bull from Night Court. Also, I don't know if you
I can
remember
see that. Yeah. Probably is the inspiration.
Yeah, man. So some people say they don't like the length of the show still. I still think
25 minutes? Oh, I've been loving that.
I still think that the 25 minutes is perfect. It's a sitcom format.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to go any longer.
No. If it went on longer, they'd be like, all right, you can. We don't need an hour-long comedy series.
Especially a sitcom.
No,
it
doesn't work.
I'm going to tell you, the show's it's smart, but it ain't that goddamn smart. We don't need to go 30. We don't need to go beyond 25 minutes.
Now, some of these other Marvel shows, sure, but not this one.
I don't want to seem like I am coming in here and hating. I hate to use this word too, nitpicking. You know, I don't want to look like I'm coming in trying to find fault here and there. I'm not. But man, I don't know what it was about this episode, because at first I said I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I said I notice it, but it's not bothering me. Mm-hmm. CG bothered me this episode.
Oh, CG did again?
I think that, man, I might be exaggerating when I say this, but I thought the CG it looks terrible. And I don't know what the difference is between now and then when it first started, but it was something about this episode that just that brought out the shittiness in that CG. It just, to me, it looked worse than ever.
Okay.
It is just what people have decided to call me. It's not who I am. Everyone in the street, but it's not like I'm a different person who needs.
It's not. I'm confused because it's not like she's doing a great job. I'm into the dialogue. I'm into the scene, but it's something about the fluidity of her movement. Mm-hmm. And it's something about her just being so smooth. And even sometimes that hair, sometimes it looks natural, and sometimes it's just took too slow to wave around.
Floaty for you.
Yeah, and it's just me. But I'm telling you, it's not anything that's ruining anything for me. But it was just funny how this is the one where I finally said, "Damn, that CG looks like shit." I wasn't that hard before.
Yeah, I know you have said this. I know a lot of people have been saying the CGI has been terrible. I don't know, for this show, it hasn't really bothered me. And again, and this is a personal thing, I feel like if you're doing something that is naturally comedic, I'm a little more forgiving with your special effects, because maybe that's the purpose. It's supposed to be like a little goofy and over the top, and so I'm not bothered I'm not as bothered as I would be in maybe something that has taken itself very seriously. Now, maybe if this was like, a drama series or something like, all right, come on, guys, you got to up the ante with this. It's just not. I understand your complaints, and I'm not going to criticize you, but it doesn't bother me personally.
I'm going to tell you, that is the saving grace.
Yeah.
That it is a comedy.
Yeah.
But I just want to know what the happened between a few episodes ago and why I'm seeing it so hard right now.
I don't know, maybe because you've kind of gotten used to it, now you're noticing
But
certain
it's supposed to be the opposite of that. Like, I'm supposed to be used to it and not notice it.
I don't know.
It's supposed, you know what it's supposed to do? It's supposed to start out bad, and I'm supposed to be
Gets
like, well,
better as the series
I'm
goes
okay. I'm
on.
okay with it now.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it was just crazy. It looked like it got worse in this particular episode. And you know what really got to me with it? Like, there was one moment, like, because it looked so uncanny.
Yeah.
It looked so weird now. There's a point that she looked at camera. I was like, what? So the thing that I'm talking about that I think might potentially piss a lot of people off is near the end of and really actually the end of the show. So so we're introduced to this guy, the dip broker. Forgot his name. You gave me his name.
Oh God, he's an amalgamation of several characters. But I think his name is something.
Is it Jacob something? You look it up.
Jacobson. Jacobson? Yeah, I think his name is Mr. Jacobson. I had it before.
Yeah,
but he's an amalgamation of several Marvel fashion designers within the universe.
the drip. I was the drip broker.
That's what that idiot called him.
Yeah, the drip broker. He's a sassy fashion designer who makes costumes and sometimes weapons for other superheroes out there.
Right.
Oh my God.
Luke, Nikki Ramos.
My client list is very exclusive.
Oh, so he's not the drip broker.
His name is Luke Jacobson.
Luke Jacobson.
Yeah, and he's an amalgamation of several Marvel, in Marvel comic fashion designers. Dakota North.
The drip broker recommended him.
Right.
So yeah, he's what are you saying?
He's a combination of several people. He's a combination of one character named Dakota North, who made clothes for superheroes. Also Leo Zielinski for superheroes and villains. And a particular Pixar character.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Mostly a Pixar character.
So he was the one that was recommended, the guy behind the guy that makes all these cool fashions for the superheroes out there, which also functions as weapons and
weapons dealer. That's what it really is. Yeah.
And she is going to be a megastar.
Her? This girl's gonna have such a complex by the time this is done.
I know. Yeah,
even as She-Hulk people like you. So, I like this actor a lot.
He's great. Charismatic.
I first saw him. He's probably been in a lot of things. I recognize him from The Flight Attendant, the show that's on HBO.
Yeah. Kaylee Coco show. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's actually really good in that, and I think he's good here, man. He's kind of. I was telling Chris earlier, he's like a flaming black gay Tony Stark.
Sure.
Because he still deals in weapons.
Yeah, he even has Tony Stark's kind of glasses too.
Yeah.
Gayer.
To make him look even more gay.
Yes.
Blacker. Yeah. Gayer. But he's like the genius part makes the weapons. The gay part makes the fashion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, man. And I like this character a lot.
Yeah, he was good.
What disappointed me with this is the role he played in introducing somebody else. And by the way, that Pixar character that he's compared to, people already know he's a black gay Edna Mode.
Edna Mode. That's the big influence they use. For him.
Which as that, perfect.
Yeah, great.
And perfect for that role, and perfect for this show, with the comedic tone that it has. I just really didn't like the way that he was, the way that he introduced a certain thing. And I want to know how other people are going to feel about this.
People are going to be mad no matter what.
You think people are going to be mad no matter what?
Yeah.
You know what? And I forgot to actually capture that clip. Let me see if I can find that clip real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
And the thing is, for those people that actually will be mad about it, let me capture this clip real quick, and then we'll be on our way. But for those people who are upset about that, I can probably see why. If you saw the episode, of course, the episode had, one of the things I'm upset about is that it had no It had no stinger, no
Right.
post-credit stinger.
Right.
But it did have a big reveal at the end. And it's a reveal that everybody's are an introduction, something that everybody's been waiting on.
Say thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Tinsley, does client confidentiality mean nothing to you?
Of course, that is Daredevil's not just regular helmet, but that gold helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
That
His yellow helmet.
this yellow that Gucci helmet that he got right.
Bedazzled. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Gilded helmet.
So
Why people mad? Why people? You think people would be mad?
yeah,
about
now okay. So with this, I just thought that. Okay, so how
because it was
people-
made by a gay black
because
man.
it was made yes.
Oh.
Yes, because it was made by a stereotypical fashion diva with a shitty attitude. Yeah, I think that's what because even I was like, damn, I'm not, because people don't think I'm being homophobic when I say this, and I'm not saying this at all. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying this in a way where I'm trying to stereotype this guy and make gay people look bad. Not that at all. Gay has nothing to do with it. I just thought like, man, I thought somebody more badass would be making this costume. Not a fashion designer. I don't care if he's gay or not.
Oh.
It just seems like the people who are talking about the lightheartedness and the comedy and the shows and whatnot,
Right.
to have this comedic type of character be the one that made Daredevil's badass costume, or at least his helmet right
costumes. One of his
there.
costumes.
Oh, one of his costumes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess that didn't cross my mind at the time. What's funny? Well, did people get mad when like Edna Mode is the costume designer for like The Incredibles? And
Well, no,
shit?
because The Incredibles was a family comedy movie.
Yeah, so
but Daredevil's they're trying to bring Daredevil back as sort of a darker character,
So
probably
here's
more
the thing.
serious.
Here's the thing, Daredevil, I think, has been associated more with darkness now because of various runs that he's had,
Yeah.
and certainly with the Netflix show. That's how people view him. But in a lot of Daredevil runs, he has been a more lighthearted character. And the one that I'm thinking, like, people are probably gonna get mad about it, that they're eventually going to adapt some of the more recent Daredevil comics, where they went from, the Frank Miller, Brian Michael Bendis, Ed Brubaker-esque, darker runs, and now they're going to move into the more Mark Waid or Charles Soule runs, where yes, we still dealing with street crime, but now he is hanging out with more superheroes. He's gotten over some of his his tragic circumstances, and he's going to be more lighthearted. People are thinking that he's going to listen. I'm going to tell you right now, if you think you're going to get the Daredevil that was beating the out of Vincent D'Onofrio and it covered in blood and saying "I beat you" at the end
Wait, Langley Neal, I didn't say I was upset over it. All right, he said that's the dumbest thing I didn't say I was upset over it, man. All right, I just said it was a concern. I was wondering how people were going to react to this, where they had like a lighter tone character,
Right.
rebuilding or making a costume for what is considered to be a darker character. I said the thing for him. I didn't say it, but I was hating the show. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah. But my whole thing is just like Daredevil he's not going to be that dark character that we got in that Netflix show. He's going to be more lighthearted with this, which he should be. Why would you want those two conflicting tones in one thing? I don't think that'll work for She-Hulk. If he brings did I tell you about my friend? Ben Urich,
no,
who was
he's not going to
murdered?
be dark in this.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think they might try to go a little more serious when he has his own series.
Yeah, no, listen, he's going to be a little more serious in his own show, but it's also going to be a little more lighthearted too. So I'm personally not bothered by that. But people are going to be mad no matter what, I think, at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't care.
Oh, Langley Neely says, see, I told you, he said some other people are really upset about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Whatever.
Man, it was me just wondering what was going on.
No, I'm sure people are going to be mad no matter what. They're probably mad because it was a gay guy.
I do. Now I can understand that.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I do kind of feel people when they said with everybody talking about how the comedy is going and whatnot and how lighthearted it is, with again, maybe not in this show, but with a character that's supposed to be somewhat darker. I can understand the concern with them saying, all right, we're attaching it to this comedy show right here.
Right.
How is that going to affect this character later on? Which it probably won't. At all.
Yeah.
It'll probably be something different when we get into it. Probably be just a little thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I just kind of like trying to figure out what people are going to be talking about later.
Yeah. So I think that's indicating that Daredevil will probably be in the next episode.
Yeah. Well, you already saw him.
Yeah. They released another trailer where they showed Matt Murdock and Jennifer Walters like at that bar talking to each other. So probably can get more of that too.
I'm interested to see what they will do.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. But so far, I've been liking the show. I hear your complaints with the CGI, and I'm like, at this point, it's not really bothering me. The one thing listen, they have not done a lot of action in this show, and I think that's the thing. The fact that they haven't had a lot of action scenes, aside from that, like that first episode, it's like, I haven't really been bothered by it. It's mostly they've used her She-Hulk form in comedic situations or sexual situations where I find funny. And so if by the time we get to the end of the series where it's like, all right, now we got the big action scenes, I'm like, all right, now I'm kind of noticing it. Then maybe. But for right now, I'm not too bothered by it. And the comedy me, and again, it's very subjective, it's kind of working for me more than not.
No, I do. I mean, it can't be denied. I do have more concerns and complaints with this episode
Sure,
than you do.
sure.
Not ruining the show for me at all. Langley Neely actually nailed it. He says, once they put Logan on Disney Plus, it's like,
there
should be no problem with putting darker stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But man, listen, I'm not hating the show. I still enjoy it. The complaints I have, it just makes me worried because a lot of these shows, at some point, like I've been enjoying it, and then at like midway mark near the end, it's just. Something happens where it feels rushed or it just doesn't feel as well produced as it was earlier.
Sure, no, that's for a lot of them.
And I'm hoping that doesn't happen with this.
Same.
Because I've been enjoying this a lot more than some of the other Disney shows that I've seen. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this.